Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Lazlow, the MST guy, and welcome to the show. So, I guess it's been about 3 months now that I've been marooned in space by the evil robot Lazlow. And I think I can say that I'm really starting to get used to living on a spaceship. How about you?
I miss my old recharging bay back home. Other than that, I can't complain.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a few little things I miss, but overall... hold that thought. Can I help you?
Greetings, Lazlow, and how are you doing this fine day?
Good?
That's just fantastic.
Uh-huh. What's your angle? Why are you being so nice to me?
Oh, no reason. Can't an evil robot be nice every once in a while?
Be careful, Lazlow. I think he wants something.
Oh, you will find out what I want in due time.
Great. Well, while I'm waiting, can we get today's review going?
I suppose, if you insist.
Today we're looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, Episode 103, The Mad Monster. The episode begins with Joel's invention exchange, Hell in a Handbag.
Et voila! Hell in a handbag.
Then the Mads show off their invention, the acetylene-powered Thunder Lizard.
I like it!
Look at him go! Oh, it's gotta hurt.
We get movie sign and head into the theater, but before we're treated to Mad Monster, Part 2 of Commando Cody is shown.
Radar men from the moon.
Conveniently enough, Chapter 2 picks up right where Chapter 1 left off, with Commando Cody fighting the Moon Men. Cody makes short work of the Moon Men and escapes.
Tweak of the nipples and I'm out of here.
He heads back to his rocket ship and informs his crew of the Moon Men's plan to invade Earth.
Has there finished softening up our defenses?
They discuss how to defeat the evil Moon Men, so Cody and one of his crewmen head back to the Moon Men base to steal one of their ray guns. Cody enters the moon base, gets the gun, and makes a quick escape. They come after Cody and his pal and chase the guys into a cave. And to keep the guys in the cave, they actually melt the entrance with a gun on their moon car. The walls and the entrance of the cave begin to melt, trapping our two heroes inside. With a river of molten rock heading their way, we end Chapter 2, and Joel and the bots head back to the bridge of the Satellite of Love. In this host segment, we see Servo putting his best moves on the blender.
Excuse me, miss. Hey, I've never noticed you on the ship before. I'm Tom Servo, man about satellite. You know I look small and all, but I'm really built like a Cuisinart, at least that's what they tell me.
There's something familiar about this host segment.
Yeah, they did this sketch back in KTMA 11, Humanoid Woman. In fact, I think that's the same blender.
What a hussy.
Back in the theater, we begin The Mad Monster, directed by Sam Newfield, who would eventually go on to direct Season 2's The Lost Continent. The movie starts out by introducing us to Dr. Lorenzo Cameron, and strapped down on a nearby bed is Pedro, played by Gunsmoke's own Glenn Strange. The doctor injects Pedro with a serum made from wolf's blood, and, as you would expect, Pedro turns into a wolfman.
My God, he's turned him into Abe Lincoln.
The doctor, apparently feeling the need to gloat over his work, starts talking to some imaginary colleagues.
Cameron, your claim is ridiculous.
It's during this little conversation we pretty much establish the movie's revenge plot.
There's no escape for any of you. You shall die one by one at the hands of the scientific marvel that you scoffed at.
Next, we meet Lenora, Dr. Cameron's daughter.
Lenora?
Good evening, Pedro. Well, Night Owl, I was just coming down to...
The next day, Pedro's back on the bed, and the doctor has turned him into a wolfman again. The doctor lets him loose.
It's a doggy door. Outside, boy, outside. Go on.
He wanders around the swamp for a bit, and wanders a little too close to the neighbor's house, so they shoot at him. The neighbor takes off, with Pedro in close pursuit.
Good one, Carl.
He leads Pedro back to their house, where he kills their daughter.
I'll have a Shirley Temple to go, please.
Back in Dr. Cameron's house, Pedro is back to normal, and so the good doctor tells him that they're going to be going to the city soon.
We're going to obedience school, Pedro.
Go along with you. I'm riding in the car.
Oh, hold on. He just killed a little girl.
Yeah, just what kind of movie is this?
I shall build me a mighty fortress, a fortress of power.
I don't think we're supposed to be seeing this.
I think that robot has some issues.
What are you doing? This is me time.
Well, if that disturbing scene's still burned into our brains, I think it's time for a host break. During this host break, Joel and the bots discuss the logistics of what would happen if a wolfman actually ate a human.
They start rampaging Victory Gardens? Does it become the terror of the produce aisle?
Yeah, and say a guy changes back to normal before swallowing a mouthful of townsfolk. Does that make him a cannibal or just a meat and potatoes werewolf?
Back in the movie, Dr. Cameron and Pedro visit one of Dr. Cameron's former colleagues. Dr. Cameron leaves for a bit, leaving Pedro behind to, take care of business. After interviewing some locals, a reporter starts to piece together the murders, and he pays Dr. Cameron a visit.
I can understand how you must feel about the newspapers.
Dr. Cameron suspects that something is up, and he heads back inside, which gives us our next break from the movie and our next host segment.
I gotta go.
During this host break, Joel swaps the heads of Servo and Crow.
Joel?
Hey, take it easy, Tom Servo. It's just an experiment in transmogrification and lycanthropy. Just like in the film we're watching, you know, a human being with the features of a wolf. That's what's going on here.
Oh, so it means I'm supposed to go roaming around the countryside ravaging people?
No.
I look like a geek, Joel.
Hey, Wizardo, do you like games?
But of course. What kind of evil robot do you take me for?
I'll make you a deal. If I can solve this Rubik's Cube quicker than you let me and my robots go.
Oh, I don't know. Bring it on.
Time me.
In 3, 2, 1, go! 10.4 seconds.
Beat that, bucko. Hey, no magic allowed.
I'm evil. I can do what I want. Ah!
Don't worry, you'll get him next time.
Dr. Cameron invites Dr. Fitzgerald over to view his next breakthrough. They get into a little spat, and so Dr. Fitzgerald goes to leave, but not before agreeing to take Pedro to town with him.
Good time to ask for a
I have
favor.
to send my hired man into town. Do you mind taking him with you?
All right. I can do that without any trouble.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wait, is he really that dumb? He's going to take Pedro with him?
As if you haven't guessed, Pedro turns and attacks Dr. Fitzgerald. They crash, but thankfully Pedro isn't hurt and walks off carrying the doctor's body. He's spotted by some locals that are out patrolling the swamp, so he drops the body and makes a run for it. The locals take the body back to Dr. Cameron's house. To protect himself, Dr. Cameron injects Fitzgerald with a sedative and kills him.
Dead?
Lenora, not having anything else to do in this movie, wanders into her father's secret lab, and after flipping some switches, she lets Pedro loose. And out of the blue, the curtains are struck by lightning, setting them on fire.
Computer plugged in.
While fleeing from the fire, Pedro and Dr. Cameron cross paths. Pedro attacks the doctor and kills him. Lenora makes it out of the house, but Pedro is killed when the second floor collapses in on him. Lenora is safe and the credits begin to roll, and so Joel and the bots head out of the theater for the final host segment.
We better get out of here.
Alright, okay, before my good thing and bad thing, I got a couple questions. Okay, when Pedro died, did they call the coroner or a vet?
Yeah, and on his tombstone, are they going to put his age in dog years or human years?
I think I know a couple of robots that aren't getting ram chips tonight if you don't be careful.
So there you have it, Mystery Science Theater 3000, episode 103, The Mad Monster. This is another episode for me. Even in 1942, the movie's monster revenge story is tired and frankly just overused. The makeup effects are decent for the time, but they can't make up for the poor acting and poor story. Overall, the movie is just dull. The riffing is good, but the host segments are a little lackluster. I never really found the KT May sketch all that great, but it does seem to work a little bit better in this episode. Overall, if you're a fan of MST, this episode is worth checking out at least once. You can get it on volume 14 from the Shout Factory. Now in my next episode, I'm going to be looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, episode 104, The Women of the Prehistoric Planet. So until next time, I'm Lazlow, the MST guy, and I'm your host for all things Mystery Science Theater 3000. Any final thoughts?
You know, that Wizardo keeps saying how evil he is, but I'm not totally convinced.
Oh, don't you worry, little robot. Once I get this fortress built, you will see my true power. Ah! Oh, God damn it. Now I've got to start all over.